My name is Caitlin Coombs, and I'm with energeticcity.ca, and welcome to Council Corner, powered by the City of Fort St. John. Today we're talking to Councillor Byron Stewart about items discussed at the Fort St. John Council meeting on October 15th, 2024. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much, and lovely to finally be speaking with you.
Yes.
All right, so there were two council meetings on the 15th, and in one of them you were having a big discussion about the Parks and Open Spaces bylaw. It's been in the works for a while now. It keeps coming back to Committee of the Whole. What can you tell me about the information presented to council most recently?
Well, you're right. It has been a process going through, and staff continue to bring back reports with updated information to answer the many questions that we have, the many concerns that we hear from residents and business owners. And it is trying to find ideally a happy medium that can fit what is best for human rights concerns in regards to persons that are homeless or unsheltered, and are residents of our community and our region, as well as the concerns of our residents and business owners. And so that has opened up the discussion on where we can allow, where we can envision, what the processes are for accepting that we're going to have persons that are homeless, unsheltered within our community, and where can they be, and where can we allow them to be, and what are the tools that we have that will prevent the encampments from growing and becoming part of our parks, which our residents are paying for, part of our school fields, of which nobody wants that to happen in different ways. And so what was brought towards us was where the encampments are currently, what processes are being worked towards as far as distances between tents, distances between pathways, distances from parks and recreation spaces, and also for a discussion on the fears, the concerns that the community has. So that was presented to us and kind of stirred around with a few more ideas for staff to look at and research and have more communication with our residents, with our business, and with the persons that are in a situation of which they are needing of further resources that we as a municipality we're not capable of providing. And truthfully, it's a provincial matter of housing. And so we need to have as much information for our discussions with provincial bodies once the provincial election is done, of course, to push forward for the needs that we have as a community and the concerns we have as a community.
And certainly this is it's a temporary, hopefully a temporary problem for these individuals, but you have to take in the opinions, the thoughts, the feedback from permanent business owners, people who live in those regions. So it's kind of a balance.
It is a balance, and temporary is a good word, and that was brought out within our meeting. Of there is no definition of temporary at this point. So even something as small as just the terminologies, we still need to work through and actually come up with a definition. What is working in other communities? What is working in other communities across the nation, honestly, across North America, for sure, of what's working and what's not. And it's a struggle that all communities are going through. And it's part of empathy and compassion and being a community of finding the best way possible. And it's taking its time, and the conversation is nowhere near done.
Certainly. And you talked a little bit about definitions, and I wanted to bring one up. There was a bit of discussion about designating a location where unsheltered individuals are not prohibited to camp. Do you mind clarifying that for me?
It's a tough one to clarify, and we were all kind of stumped at the beginning of the meeting too, of what we were being asked of.
Yeah.
The aspect of a year ago, as a council, we kind of gotten a little bit of a wrist slap, a hand slap from a human rights commissioner of British Columbia, in just regards to media reports of how we were responding to the homeless and the unsheltered. And so we don't really need to go down and upset people with making decisions, and we definitely don't need to upset our residents. And so we are trying to find a way where the persons who are homeless and unsheltered can be, and we can let them be and still maintain contact with them, and also not have the fears grow within the communities of what the unknown is. So we don't want to designate an area, this is a camping area, because then our fears at council is what all we would then have to take on as far as providing toiletries and power and these different things that in my mind can really snowball for us into providing a lot that we there's an argument, should we or should we not, for sure. And so to have an area of which we have no camping that is allowed within the whole community as a blanket, but an area that temporarily it would be allowed.
Yeah.
Or just not enforced.
Yeah, it's not allowed, but bylaw isn't going to roll up and tell them they can leave.
That's
but
correct.
If they're somewhere else, they can say.
The reality is we're not... The homeless situation, the unsheltered situation, whether it is mental health addictions or whatever has put those people in the place that they're at, there's no one fix, there's no quick fix. And it doesn't help if we go and enforce something of you can't stay here, you need to go on. They can go on, but then it just becomes another problem and another problem and another, or it's many all throughout our community. Yep. And so we're trying to find so that we don't have some of that, where it's everywhere in the community, or it's in our park spaces and infiltrating areas where people would feel unsafe being. So we're trying to find that medium. It is not easy, and it's going to be more discussions like we had on Monday or Tuesday this week. So.
Well, it should have been Monday, but long weekends.
We enjoyed the long weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what are the next steps of this bylaw? Staff has gone off. They've gotten feedback from you guys. When this next comes up, what are you expecting or hoping to see?
Hoping to see, as this was a discussion, it was primarily near the Walmart location. And then there's a couple other different locations that were discussed in this meeting and have been ongoing discussions because there is small encampments within these areas already. And so staff, I know that they went down and they've had conversations within the encampments that are happening with the persons that are there. We have a committee that's set up that is taking information from community members, from business people. And so we will have another staff presentation to us with further suggestions, further questions, and we will work through those again. Each time that we have this meeting, I'm not expecting, yes, we have an answer. I'm expecting, okay, this is another step forward. And we're going to go that so that we can explain it to the public. This is why we're doing it this way.
Yeah. So. Every time staff come to you, you have a batch of more questions. They answer those in their next one, and then hopefully less and less questions will crop up. And
that's
less
right. That is the goal, less and less. And then this is something that then we can live with here. Now, it still may change. Bylaws change all the time, and that's what it is. But we're looking for the best answers that we can get to for now. Wonderfully put. And speaking of bylaws, there was one that was discussed in the regular council meeting. It's excavation and soil deposit bylaw 2566. And the bylaw itself isn't what we're going to be talking about, but on the agenda it said adopted by title only. I was hoping that you could kind of clarify what that means compared to adopting a bylaw in full. We do first, second, and third readings to start with in the introduction of a bylaw, which is the first reading, introduction. And then it's discussion, and that's where council and staff discuss what that is, what the need is, what the troubles are that is bringing us forward. And then the third part of that is giving suggestions or changes to the bylaw. And we put that back into staff's hands of, this is the discussion, this is what we need. Can you bring back something that would solidify this? It's then brought back to us in title only with all of those changes. If there is nothing else everything that we've talked about is within that, then we adopt it by title only. The next meeting, it'll be enacted.
Okay. So in a way, it's allowing more feedback. And I mean, every bylaw has a reason. You're just not bringing in bylaws because you feel like it on a Monday. Each one has a reason or something that's led to it.
We don't just draw out of the hat and choose which one we're going to go on. No, it's done openly, and it's done as openly as possible, for sure, of why we're talking about this, what the goals of it is, and then the discussion of, and that's brought to us on different topics because staff are experts in different areas, and then they incorporate other experts within that to feed us the information, and that's within the reports that, as a council, that's our obligation, is to read, absorb, ask questions, try to figure out what the responses is from our social circles and the public, and then bring that into the table, and then hopefully we have a good bylaw that has a use for many years.
Oh, wonderful! Especially with all that work that goes into a bylaw, you want it to be consistent for at least a couple of years before you have to.
Well, hopefully more than a couple, but
well, a lot of work goes into them. You don't want them just to be around for the season.
That's right.
Wonderful. And switching a little bit, there are some events that are coming up that are supported or run by the City of Fort St. John. Typically, season change events. What can residents expect to see, go out and experience in the next coming months as we change from, I guess it's fall now? It's
like fun events?
Yeah, events, activities.
Well, Halloween comes to mind.
Yeah.
Do you dress up?
I used to, yes.
You're young. I dress up. What?
I don't think my cat would appreciate it if I suddenly came back with something.
Halloween is big. Everybody who's lived here for a period of time, I don't know how long you've lived here, but it's generally your children choose a Halloween costume, and then it snows either the day before or on Halloween, so you have a parka over top of your costume when you go Halloween. But that has been traditional. It hasn't been for the last couple of years, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But Halloween is huge. I see Halloween decorations out already, which is great to see. Once Halloween passes, the next one is Remembrance Day, a solemn day of remembrance for those who have fought for our rights and our freedoms and have made Canada the great nation that it is. And so the Legion hosts an all-day event. They have chili and meals and lots of activities going on there, along with the Remembrance Day Parade, which generally circles around the block. It's changed a few times, but it starts at the Legion each time. So it is something that encourages families to come out and participate in and feel pride in our nation. Following that, I believe we've got Be a Hospital Foundation's.
Is that their Be an Angel Gala?
Be an Angel Gala, thank you. That's November 2nd. Like that's at the Pomeroy Hotel, and that's a fundraiser for the Hospital Foundation. They present it to us on Tuesday as well.
Yes, I saw that.
And so that raises money and stays local and provides some much needed equipment for our regional hospital, which is tremendous. And then I think we've got the Santa Claus Parade on the 7th, if I'm correct. I'm kind of looking at stuff for that one. Yeah, okay. So, on the 7th. And if the weather holds, I anticipate a lot of people out. We were just talking the other day about how many people were out for Canada Day. There's 5 people deep along 100th Street, and so now with 100th Street redone, it's going to be great to see the big trucks and the lights and all the kids enjoying all of that. And let's kick off the Christmas season with a parade, I think. And then of course it's Christmas, and wow.
Yes, wow.
It's there's mixed feelings and emotions all the way through that for everybody that celebrates Christmas. But at minimum, it's a great time to get together with friends and family and go tobogganing or skating or enjoy as much outdoors as possible.
Certainly. I mean, I moved up here in May, so I'll be experiencing all of that for the first time.
Oh, there you go.
All of my coworkers and everyone keeps telling me how wonderful it is. So
it is. Yeah. Just dress warm. Dress for the season. You'll be fine.
Yes.
Right? Personalities are always warm. Sometimes the body needs some clothing.
Yes. Well, that's what layers and hand warmers are for.
Correct.
And there's been a lot of work done at Kin Park.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that? What's going on? Is it finished? What stage are you at if it isn't? How's that project going?
I think we're getting near finished, which is exciting. We started on the west side, it'd be like 2 years ago, and now the finishing up on the east side of Kin Park. As a person that grew up here and grew up playing ball and all those activities over in Kin Park, to me, it's tremendous. And the persons that are my age and maybe a little bit younger that did grow up playing ball or skating over there and such, riding a motocross bike, that kind of thing, to see how much is being updated and the work that's being done, the beautification and added amenities. People are excited about it. I personally am excited about it. Most recently, the pump track, of which I really had no idea what a pump track was. So I drove by that and checked it all out and saw kids on it before they were even allowed on it, which tells me how excited they were.
Yeah.
And now, for the last couple Saturdays, for sure, driving by there, it is packed full of kids. So I now know what a pump track is, and I know that kids absolutely love it, which tells me that we, as a council, as a staff, as a community, made a very good decision in investing in a pump track, which is being very well used. I know the parking lot there is now paved. I believe the washrooms are in. Some paths and such are cleared away within that. The largest thing that is still in the works is the water retention pond, of which people have not mistakenly, I would say sarcastically asked if that is our new pool. It is not our new pool, but it is a very large watering hole, of which, when finished, it should look beautiful. It'll have guardrails, it'll have some benches around it, nice seating area, walking area around it, and it's there for multi-purposes of water was already going into that area. It wasn't a very useful area of the park because it would be flooded when we had excess water. So now it's being properly fitted for that water retention. And so the rest of the park will be good, the neighborhood will be good, and it is more of an attractive amenity than it is a useful amenity. It is not a new pool.
Yes. Well, it's a new pool for all the birds. So
for the birds, yes.
When they come back.
That's true, yeah.
All right. And that is everything.
That is all?
That is all.
Well, that wasn't even any hard questions.
No, I saved those for later.
Okay.
Thank you again for joining me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
That was Council Corner, powered by the City of Fort St. John. I'm Caitlin Coombs with energeticcity.ca. We'll see you next time.